I carried you home, taking all the weight off your shoulders. Now we're long gone, falling into 1 year older. It's funny how our love began when I was sober. Now I stumble in a room where nobody else cares. Now I'm in two minds thinking about you. I'm in two minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in two minds thinking. Now I'm in two minds thinking about you. I'm in two minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in two minds thinking. We've been knocked down way too many times, and now my tries deja vu round, spinning me into another lost time. Tell me where this road will end before I drive over the edge. Give me one break to recover myself, because I can't bear. Now I'm in two minds thinking about you. I'm in two minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in two minds thinking. Now I'm in two minds thinking about you. I'm in two minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in two minds thinking.
A real clockwork soldier.
Generation Orange in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, we're back.
It's Thursday.
And this is extremely awkward. I hate you, laptop.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they don't really know that we were live before because of how bad it was. Oh, man, that's terrible. Whoa. Okay.
So,
Jacob, how's it look on your end, buddy?
I mean, yeah, the stream is still pretty laggy, but other than that, it's still fine.
Okay. How about audio? Is it audio at least better, or are we are we choppy? That's what I'm really curious about.
For the audio, you guys are fine.
Good. Okay, that's all I care about. You can turn off the camera if you want. That might help XSplit a little bit. They don't need to see us. I mean, all they're doing is looking at us talk.
well, sure. Well,
we'll go radio
good night,
mode.
guys.
We'll go radio mode. So seriously though, guys, it has been all of 2 days since we last had a show, and we just knew that we had to have a show tonight because yes, he is Cisco. Yes, he is. I will talk about that in just a minute. We knew we had to go live tonight, and the reason for that is because it's time to get hyped, guys. We are going to the U.S. Open Cup final. Hell yes. And it is incredible how that match went. It is incredible how it ended, but even more incredible is the fact that we didn't lose, because it could have gone terribly bad in one kick of the ball. And there are many soccer matches that go that way, but not to that extent.
Yeah.
And I want to throw this out there. I'm going to toot my own horn. I know that's crazy for people to hear me say that, but I'm going to do it. So in extra time, in the second half, or between the first and second half, I'm not sure when exactly, Cisco will vouch for me on this, I said, watch, this is going to come down to Senderos winning it on PKs for us, or in PKs for us. And what happened last night?
Joe Willis won it.
Senderos won it. Joe Willis saved it. There's that difference. And anyways, it was just incredible. When Senderos went up, I had no doubt that ball was going to make it in the back of the net. When it hit Tyler Miller's glove, I about lost I about just lost it because I was like, oh God, no. But then it rolled in, and I was like, yes! It was the greatest feeling ever.
If you see the camera angle from the back, you see that Tyler Miller made the mistake that his hand was a little bit too high
Well,
up.
not only that, part of what happened though is that Senderos got on top of the ball and put that topspin on it. So when it hit his glove, it rolled straight down and then rolled right into the net.
Yeah,
that's a professional penalty kick from a defender. I just want that to be known from a defender, from a center back defender. I will never, ever doubt Senderos. Papa Senderos has arrived. Last night was incredible. Jacob, I want to know from you, how much fun was it watching? How many times did you nearly have a heart attack? And are you thankful that Dynamo have finally made it to the U.S. Open Cup final?
Okay. A lot of questions for sure.
All three, yes.
From the start, I was just absolutely... It was...
I think for me, it was along the line. So I was up in the press box.
Not for the whole match.
I was heading there.
Just saying.
I really need to learn that the final minute still has 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, 6 minutes. It felt like 5 minutes had already passed. I think I should make my way from the press box to where you guys are sitting down, because that's where the stairs are to
you
get
came
the
down
access
and sat,
to the field.
Sat one section over in the chair, the seat immediately across from me.
And then the referee calls for the foul.
Oh, man.
And then I see Rossi get that header off. Go, I believe, over. I believe it was it Elise?
No.
Was it Boney? Who did it go
I
over?
don't remember who it went over, but it wasn't Elise. I know.
And it entered the goal.
Elise was still way up the pitch. He wasn't coming back for corners.
So,
for set pieces.
And then you look at me and you're like, get back in the press box.
And you did. And what was the result?
We won.
Okay, I just want that to be clear. Even Cisco said LAFC equalized when Edson came down. So let it be known, Edson is the absolute jinx for this team.
To be fair, the day I watched an Open Cup match, as a fan, we won 4-2 against Sport.
Yeah, but you were there as a fan for the entire match. See, the problem is you were only there as a media guy, and then you came down as a fan. You have to be there for the full match as a fan.
Sure.
It's a different mentality, man. Oh, yeah, it was KG. It was Kevin Garcia. Well, no, Kevin Garcia was over.
Kevin Garcia was the one that did not mark Rossi.
Yeah. Which was his one failure on the night. Kevin Garcia did really well. I was very concerned when Kevin Garcia went in the game, and I was not the only one. Like everybody around me was just as concerned. But there's a few things to call out in this match. One, yes, the referee had some really bad moments, but on the whole, he was very fair. I know it's hard for most Dynamo fans to accept and swallow, but he really was a good referee. Far better than Philly. Far better than who did we play this weekend? Remind me. SKC. Thank you. And you know, all I'm looking for when it comes to the referee, I'm not looking for consistency match over match anymore. After listening to Eddie on our show on Tuesday, I'm not looking for that consistency match over match. I think he made a very good point that we can't expect the officials to be the same because they're not the same people. They don't have the same mindset going in. What we can expect is that our players should understand and should know how certain officials officiate. If Chris Penso is the type of official that's more likely to give a red card or yellow cards for physical play, then you probably need to rein in that physical play. If you have a guy like Baldomero Toledo who's going to give a red card for rash challenges in the box, but he's not going to give them for outside the box, then you just need to be aware of that. Those are the types of things that as a player you should be studying and be aware of. But those are the types of things that, it's normally two things. Number one, Kyoto, shortly after, there was a period in there where the Dynamo, almost every player to a T, were overly physical. It was Boney, it was Elise, it was Saren. I want to say even Machado had one where he was really physical in that span. And it was just overly exerting their physicality. And the referee had already got on to Boney about it. He'd already got on to Elise about it. At that point, after two players have had a talking to, you as a team need to recognize the situation as the referee is not going to take that crap. He's going to call fouls against you. He's going to give you cards. So if you know that's going to take place, rein it in a little bit. Let them come at you a little bit more. You can still be physical, but rein in the physicality. Understand the game situation and how physical you need to be. With that being said, again, the referee was relatively good. He didn't force the outcome of this match to be to be one way or the other, with the exception of that final goal for LAFC, because we would have won outright and it would have been fine. And also 6 minutes of stoppage time, whatever. But on the whole, he was good. And that's all I'm looking for, is for 75 to 80% good on a ref. Because you're never going to get 100% from a ref. A ref is never going to give 100% of calls right. Just can't happen. It's human nature. So 75 to 80% for me is reasonable. The last two home matches before this, we were at like 25 and 40. Like, that's how bad it felt. This one, maybe I just went in with a different point of view, a different perspective after talking to Eddie. Talking to Eddie and listening to what Eddie had to say. I was more focused on the Dynamo players than I was necessarily the ref, but I paid attention to how heavy the ref was calling the match. And I thought, like I said, I thought he did a decent job with that consideration in mind. And so I wanted to say that because I think we as fans need to make sure to also hold the players accountable. I think Eddie said that too. We need to hold the players accountable. If they're going to be that physical and they're going to get those cards, then we need to make sure they understand that that's not acceptable. Shouldn't be something that we should just be okay with.
And here's the thing. I think it was Tony that brought it up. I don't remember who it was exactly. But he did make the point that the same players that got cards against Philly, that got cards against SKC, are the same ones that also got yellows in this match.
Yeah.
Saren, Elise. And I know Boney got a yellow card as well for the same reason, because he was being very physical, and not only that, but he was being aggressive toward more like yelling at the ref kind of thing,
demonstrative in his approach. Yeah. Yes,
and so I know somebody else pointed out how they were. Yes, Callow. He says, "I'm tired of players appealing for cards on every play."
Oh yeah, or offsides.
I mean, you have to understand that. In theory, no matter how much you complain, no matter how much you say that should have been your card, there should have been offsides, the decision that the referee makes, that's fine. Unless they go to VAR, but that's because somebody up there said, hey, you know what, that decision was wrong. Look at it.
There's no VAR in USOC, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the point is, you have to focus on stuff. What's going on the pitch? I know there was one opportunity that LAFC had that happened because everybody was complaining that there should have been a foul.
Yes, agreed.
And that play almost led to a goal against us.
Yep, it didn't, and we were very lucky, but it didn't. You're right. But like I said, I mean, it's up to us to be to make the players accountable, to make sure they understand that we're not okay with that. That while we may get onto the ref during the match, that the players need to understand that that's not acceptable. It's not appropriate behavior for a player that's wearing a Dynamo shirt. They should be representing the Dynamo way, and I don't want that to be the Dynamo way. I don't want to be that team. I don't want to be a CONCACAF team in that regards, and I know you know what I mean by that.
Yes.
However, when we make the CONCACAF Champions League, that's all we're going to see. So on the flip side, it's whatever. But I just, okay, we vented, we got it out. Let's move on from that. It's time to be happy. It's time to enjoy the moment. There was a video that came out recorded by Ruben. I don't know his last name. I don't remember what it was on Twitter. And this video, I saw it, and it got me in my feels in a way that I can't even put into words. It was crazy. And it's nothing amazing. It really isn't. It's not a moment from a player. There's another video of Boney. We'll get to that in a minute too. But there's a video out, and the beginning of the video is just the final PK, and Joe saving it, and the crowd going wild. And then the video, and it's taken on a cell phone, and the video pans over, and it's Chris Canetti, and he's celebrating as a fan. He is in that moment as a fan. No matter how you feel about the guy personally, and believe me, I've got issues with him from a management perspective, but he absolutely emotionally was invested in this match. If nothing else, forget the season, forget the players, forget the team. He was invested in this match for whatever reason. He was invested, and you could see it. There was no doubt that is what drove his emotion. That is what made that happen. And you watch it, and you feel that emotion. And I said it on Twitter immediately once I saw that video. This is the side of Chris Canetti that we need to see. It is the side as fans that will connect us back with the front office. It is the side of Chris Canetti in the front office that we don't ever see anymore. We don't see that connected. We don't see that passion. We don't see that investment emotionally. We don't see that investment, mentally into these matches. We see at the end of the matches they're, good job, guys, golf clap, that sort of thing, moving away. But we don't see them sitting there grabbing their heads, in frustration, or just trying to absorb and figure out what this moment is. And as a person who has experienced a few of these types of moments in my life, I am extremely blessed by that. But I've been to 2 different Rockets games. I went to a Game 6 where the Rockets won in amazing fashion. I went to a Game 7 where they won in amazing fashion. I went to an Astros World Series games where they won in amazing fashion. I've been to Astros games where they win in the final out of the game. The Astros game that I'm talking about is the game that Altuve hit 3 home runs in a playoff, and it was ALDS. Hit 3 home runs, and the stadium is chanting MVP, and you just completely are absorbed in that moment. Same type of moment. Absolutely the same type of moment, but you see it at the front office level. We don't get to see that connected passion. We don't get to see their investment emotionally. We don't get to see that. We don't get to see that side of them. They're always giving us the business, management, front office side, the GM speak side, if you will.
Yeah.
I want some of that raw, unbridled passion. I want some of that raw, unbridled emotion. It's okay to show that. It's good to show that. It shows the fans that you care. That's been a question fans have asked. Does he care about the team? Does he care about fans? Does he care about if we win or lose? The answer is, based on that, if I take that video out of context of everything else that I've heard and everything I know, but if I focus on strictly that video, if I focus on his reaction, the answer to that question is, this guy's invested. And that makes me feel like, okay, I feel like I could create a open channel with this guy. I feel like I could talk to this guy because he's going to understand, at least to some extent, where I'm coming from with my frustrations. And sorry to go on a rant. I didn't mean to, but it's just such a powerful moment. It really, really is. And I even said it on Twitter. Thank you, Ruben, for recording this and for sharing this, because most fans would have not even thought twice about it. They would have just gone about their business. But he posted it because it was such a stark difference from what fans have come to think of Chris Canetti as. Edson.
Jacob.
That was great.
No.
Have you seen that video, Jacob? I'm just curious.
I have not gotten the chance to.
Edson, I need you to tweet him that video, just because you need to see it, Jacob.
Yeah.
Not right now. Not right now. But I'm just so you know, you need to see that video.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like we said, it was a question, does he really care? And then it goes back to, finally, he technically listened to us this season, where, I mean, the Open Cup, the whole reason why we're here is because he basically told the coach to start the regular starters on a daily basis so that we could actually get to the final.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and And there have been people that have pointed out that, it could just be that he's celebrating, and Callow pointed this out in the chat too. He's just celebrating the fact that they're getting money regardless of first or second place. And you can feel that way, but that's really not going to change their fortunes. That $100,000 in allocation money is not going to change their method of, next season. It's not going to, that $100,000 has no bearing on his job whatsoever. Trust me when I say that. He really is celebrating the fact that they're going to host a final. Whether that's money driven, whether that's team driven, whether that's ownership driven, whatever it is, there was something there. And it was something more than just, all right, cool, we got some extra money, life goes on. I've witnessed plenty of GMs, and I've witnessed GMs win championships. And it's very rare to see a GM in that type of mode. It's very rare to see a president of a team in that type of mode. And, I just felt it needed to be called out. I was glad that it was up. And, I know a lot of fans still harbor a lot of disgust at the way that he's handled certain things. And as a sports business guy, I get it. I completely understand. I'm one of the many people on the Kennedy out bandwagon. I still am. Don't get me wrong. After this, I still am. But at the same time, this humanizes him. This makes him less of an enemy, less of the bad guy, if you will. That's not to say he's not, but it makes him less of that. And I think we, as a fan base, need to acknowledge that there is a human element to the people that we are dealing with, the people that are dealing with the team, the people that are running the business side of it. There is a human element, whether we like it or not. And so that was all I wanted to bring up. I just thought it was amazing. I thought it was powerful. I thought it was great. And I was so glad to get to see that. And then there's the Boney clip, and that was even better. So Boney goes up on his PK. He kicks it. It was a great shot. Tyler Miller made a better save. And, Boney comes back, and he couldn't stay with the team. He just emotionally was a wreck. And so he walked all the way back to the corner flag and was just hanging out there with his family because his family was right there, or kind of walking back that way. As soon as Joe saved that penalty kick, his sons ran up to him and hugged him. He grabbed his wife and twirled her around. There's a video of it, and it's incredible because it shows you how much he is invested as a player. And you cannot deny that Boney is a fan of this team as well. As a player, he is incredibly invested in the success of this team. He wants to see this team succeed. And, it's just, it was so good to see these reactions because we don't get to see these types of reactions all the time. Yeah, they react like that when they score a goal, but how often do you see it at the end of a match? It just shows, at the very least, no matter how you feel about anybody, it shows that they've put in time, they've put in effort, and it's the culmination of that. If nothing else, that is what that is.
Yeah.
And, it's you don't always agree with the way things are done, the way things are run, but at the end of the day, it is good to be able to see your front office, the people making business decisions, as humans, as people. Because
I'm just saying.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to throw it to you this way, and I'm throwing this also to you, Tomas.
Andres?
No, to Jacob.
Okay.
I don't know where Tomas came from. That was great, though. Apparently, I now think of you as Tomas Martinez. Congratulations. You're a DP. Apparently, you're making a ton of money. You had no clue, apparently. But apparently. I'm going to throw this to both of you. If you saw at the end of, let's say this, at the end of a hard season for RGV goes and wins the final match of the season. And it's enough to put them into playoffs. Just that. It's enough to put them in the playoffs. Don't cry on me now. It's enough to put them, and they do it over San Antonio. Let's take it up a notch. They do it over San Antonio. And you see Alonso Cantu on the pitch, or at the corner of the pitch. And he does the same reaction as Chris Kennedy. Does that not connect you more to the team?
Yes.
Instantly. Jacob?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It shows that someone cares.
Yeah.
It really does. It shows that all these 3 years of, even, of course, the second year having the worst attendance, finally, it's emotionally, it's awesome. It would be awesome to see that. I would probably get a bit emotional myself seeing that. I'd be like, yeah, finally, someone cares.
Which, by the
after all these years of no one
way, the
feeling
last
like no one
match
cares.
is San Antonio.
I do hope I predicted the end of your season. Because I predicted playoffs just now. If that's the case, that'd be incredible. Actually, that'd be an incredible run for RGV.
Wait, that last game is also on the road too, right?
Yes.
But that doesn't mean you can't see him. It doesn't mean he wouldn't travel. You never know.
Road trip!
Where's that? It's in San Antonio.
San Antonio.
No, my point is that would even be better.
So think about it this way. That's
Having
even
the
more. Yeah, that's
trifecta.
Yeah, well, that's even more of a point too. So let's okay. We're going back to down in the valley mode. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, Generation Orange fans. You get to experience and enjoy down in the valley for a moment. So how incredible is it going to be if RGV is in position and need that win at the end of the season? Should RGV fans not make that trip to San Antonio?
Yes.
Without a shadow of a doubt. If the Dynamo face FCD to close out the season and they need 3 points to make it into the playoffs, you better damn well believe that every Dynamo fan with any sort of passion for this team are going to make that trip up to Dallas.
Yes.
It's a 5-hour drive.
And they better bring drums too and banners.
Oh, well, if they're allowed inside, there's a whole thing with that.
Yeah.
But indeed, RGV should do everything in their power to make this, you are not taking this. We are going to come and we are going to bring everything we have.
Here's the more interesting part of this.
Damn, I got fired up.
Year one, San Antonio was in that position.
They had a match in RGV to make it to playoffs.
They lost. So we eliminated
And
them.
how did that make you feel?
Oh,
Your own home
man.
pitch. Was that not glorious?
It was glorious.
We've done it to SKC for a number of
Now,
times for the Dynamo.
if we get it done where we actually get the points needed at their turf,
with a good fan turnout too,
it'd be even more glorious.
I mean, it would just so what I'm getting at, right? There's this emotion that connects us as fans to each other.
Yes.
And so if you guys as a traveling fan base, and I'll be honest, if it comes down to that match, oh, my ass is there. I will take off work for that match. Because I've been to San Antonio, it's not that far of a drive. No,
3 hours.
It really doesn't even feel like that. Because by the time you get out of city proper, it's only like 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's only 2 because it's half an hour once you're really outside of San Antonio. But the thing is what I'm trying to get at is, like I said, we're connected as fans by those emotions, by those things that we experience match in and match out, by the emotional roller coaster throughout the entire season, by the rivalry matches, by the chanting, by the cheering, by the highs, the lows. But we don't typically, and this is true for most sports teams, you don't see ownership, you don't see front office personnel show those same emotions, regardless of what drives them. I don't care. That's not what's important right now. But it's seeing those emotions. And Jacob said it. I mean, it just connects you to them. You just feel that instant bond. You know that that this is what they've been working for. Whatever you feel about what they've been doing as part of that work, they've been working for that. And it's the culmination of the success of that moment. I felt it with the Astros, so I know this for a fact. When they hit that championship, it was all, we were there. We were here watching it. And I was speechless. I have no words.
Even I, who technically I can't consider myself fan of Astros.
Yeah.
But I wanted the good for the team because of what the city went through.
Absolutely.
Even I felt speechless. Even I felt happy.
I mean, it was just incredible. Yeah, but you were immediately connected, were you not?
Yes.
You were like, holy crap, this is awesome. And so I just want fans to understand. Oh, there's apparently a new one. Webb just posted a bunch of player reactions to the PKs. The player reaction of the. Thank you, Cisco, for calling that. We'll watch that later.
Yeah.
But damn, we really rolled on this point for a while. It's just I just want our listeners to understand that for all the crap that I give Kennedy, for all the crap that I give the front office, for all the crap I give marketing and sales, I still see them as human beings. First and foremost, they're human beings. I'm going to treat them as human beings, even if sometimes I feel like they maybe don't deserve it. I'm still going to treat them as human beings because they are. They are people. And Eddie kind of pointed this out when it came with the referee thing, and I think we need to keep that in mind about the front office too. There's a point that you can go overboard with your criticism. There's a point you can go overboard in being abhorrent about how you're addressing somebody. And some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter needs to stop. As a fan base, I don't care how bad the situation is. I don't care if we have 5 losing seasons in a row. I will curse up a storm on this show, but I am not going to on Twitter tell a guy to F off. I'm not going to do that to a front office personnel. I may want him out, and I may start a hashtag Canetti out, but I am not going to tell him to F off. I am not going to tell him something about his family, his mother, his friends, his wife, his daughters. No, those are off limits. Human beings first.
Or in an extreme, and I have seen it with Chivas and Atlas, where they say, you're out or we'll kill you.
Yeah. No. If that ever happens, you better believe there's going to be some serious repercussions. And it will be called out. And so it's just, thank you, Cisco. I clearly feel strongly about this. Clearly. I mean, I don't think anyone can doubt that. And some of that comes from the fact that I believe, regardless of how you feel about people, you should treat them with respect and you should treat them as people first. And, I think sometimes we as fans get so emotionally caught up in the moment, so emotionally caught up in these draining moments, and we don't have the good moments to couple it with, that we just have to take it out on somebody. And invariably, we're going to take it out on those people making decisions because they're the ones making decisions, or the players. And, there's a right way to express criticism, and there's a wrong way. And I know in the heat of the moment, we're going to shout some pretty bad obscenities at people, and that's one thing. But on social media, let's be human beings. Let's realize that regardless of how you feel, you're in the same you're in the same boat. And so I needed to call that out because I've seen it enough, and I'm kind of getting fed up with it. Even though I want him gone, I'm not siding with Canetti. I'm not like, Canetti's the greatest thing since sliced bread. No, I don't believe that at all. There's no doubt in me that I need to see him leave. But on the flip side, you can still think that and still enjoy that moment for him, and still enjoy that moment for the franchise, still enjoy that moment for the club. And so you can tell I'm fired up about this. And so, yeah, anyways, I needed to go on that rant. So thank you for letting me go on that rant. That was not why we were doing the show tonight, just so it's clear. This was not a Sean rant night, I promise. It just turned into it because it happened today.
That's it, because you're you're running on low sleep. That's it.
I'm running on low sleep, so I'm irritable and I'm annoyed. And then I'm fired up from the hype. I really am. So, U.S. Open Cup. It's important. It matters. It's silverware. It's hardware. It counts for something at the end of the season. I know we like to give flack to teams that go after it because, hey, couldn't you win MLS Cup? The answer is yes. We've won 2 of them. Shut your mouth. But at the same time, there's still value behind it. There's still some importance to it. And so, I mean, you look at the teams that we've gone through. We went through a tough SKC squad. SKC didn't bring their scrubs. They brought their best 11. LAFC, without a doubt, brought their best 11. Mm-hmm. We've been through 2 very good MLS teams. We have one more in Philly. At home, September 26th. 7:30 p.m., I believe. Yes. I'm going to say this, and this goes to every fan, if you're listening or not. And if you are listening, I expect you to share this with everyone you can. And if you want, we can make a clip of this. This goes to everyone in Houston. You freaking need to show up for this match. If it was the Rockets, if it was the Astros, if it was the Texans, if they had an opportunity at a championship, regardless of what that championship was, if it was a preseason trophy, well, maybe not a preseason trophy, that's a little different, but if it's a trophy that matters, you're going to show up. And here we are in the final. The Dynamo have busted their butts to get to this point. They're taking it seriously. So doesn't that mean the fans should finally take it seriously? I
think so too. I think they need to return the favor. I think like AJ said, like he called them out. He's like, thank you all the fans. Yeah, he held nothing back. Thank everybody who showed up, and to those who didn't show up. Hello, we're in a final.
Yeah, no, I mean it was a good point, and it's important to realize that this doesn't shut up, Cisco. The Desert Diamond Cup. Shut up, Cisco.
No, okay. So here's my main gripe. And I know we've talked about it many times. Why the hell did most of the media, all of a sudden now they're up in the bandwagon, like, oh look, the Dynamo is in the Open Cup final.
Well, okay, so I'm going to give them credit. They're at least acknowledging that this is a thing that's happened, right? Again, it's a final. It's a big deal. I think part of the problem is that the Dynamo in the past have not taken this tournament seriously, And as a result, because they didn't take it seriously, the media didn't take it seriously. I think if the team takes it seriously going forward year over year, if we win it this year, you better believe next year, quarterfinals, we're going to see the media start hype it up. Because they know it's an opportunity for the team to do well. But it was awesome to see on KHOU, somebody posted the video of it, or it was Webb. He saw it and he posted the video that, or maybe it wasn't Webb, I don't know who it was.
No, I think they shared, somebody from KHOU posted it.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then he retweeted it or something. I saw it from him. But, they did a whole 3.5 minutes, roughly 3.5 minute segment on the Dynamo winning semifinal and going to the Open Cup final. And it was good. There were some things that I had a little issue with. CONCACAF. They've made it to CONCACAF. No, we're in CONCACAF. We never were not in CONCACAF. Yeah. It's the CONCACAF Champions League. And then her pronunciation of Luis Gil made me cringe. Luis Gil.
Oh, dear.
Or no, she said Gil. Luis Gil. I was like, oh, that hurts. But other than that, they did great. And credit, that's the first time that I've seen 3.5 minutes of Dynamo coverage on any program, on any station, that wasn't being actively paid for. And Cisco says, same thing happened in the last season in the playoffs, too. There was a huge difference in media from the Timber series to the Sounder series.
Now, I do have to say as well, I feel like we need to get some help from other influencers from other Houston teams, whether it's Rocket Girl, at least give us.
Oh, so you mean like JJ Watt?
Yes, JJ Watt.
Khalil High.
Or other fans.
James Harden.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you saw this, and I'm going to throw this out there because I thought it was cool.
And I'm talking, for example, like Rocket Girl and other people that are fans but are influencers in social media.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. I think we need help from them. If they get hyped, seeing then their followers,
they have such a big following.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And say, hey, you know what?
Maybe I should check it out.
Yeah, let me not make fun of them. Or they're
like I said at the open of the show, and this is important. There are people that know that this is going on, and they just haven't been able to invest in it prior to this. And it's not due to money; it's just due to time or whatever considerations. So my buddy, who is the guy that actually got me into the Dynamo, which is saying a lot, back in 2006, he took me to my first Dynamo match in 2006 at Robertson. Callow, you're banned. Shut up. No, seriously, that's a good take, but it doesn't matter because she's dating JJ Watt, and you're no JJ Watt. It's not really a burn, it's just true.
Why do you have to remind me about that?
Well, she didn't know that already. It's not my fault. You made me totally lose my train of thought. Oh, so he took me to my first Dynamo match, and it was in 2006, and it was the one that Ching scored the header on. I can't remember anything else about that game but that moment, and I was hooked, absolutely hooked. And so he went to MLS All-Star Game with me back in 2010 when it was here, and enjoyed the hell out of that. It had nothing to do with that, actually. He's a Premier League fan.
Yeah.
He's a Newcastle fan, actually, and so it was enjoyable for him to see a Premier League team here. And so he and I talk about the Dynamo every once in a while. So it was just really, really cool. And then he hit me up on Facebook Messenger asking me if I was at the game, and I was like, yes, duh. We were talking for a little bit, and I said, hey, do you want to go to the final? And he's like, oh man, I'd love to go. And I was like, would you be able to go? If I got you a ticket, would you be able to go? He's like, I would find a way. I was like, all right, done. I'll make it happen. So what I'm saying to people is that there are people out there that know and recognize this team has done something really big. It's a big deal. But sometimes they need Dynamo fans to reach out to them. So if you've got friends that either you've brought them before or you haven't brought them before, but that you've talked soccer to them, even if it's a Premier League team or a Liga MX team, whatever it is, offer. Just offer. I'm not asking you to tell them you have to go to the match, but at least offer. I'm not saying buy their ticket either. Just offer. Say, hey, come with me. We can buy tickets together. It makes a difference. It really, really, really does. Because every time I've brought somebody, regardless of how the match went, they loved it. And now we're talking about an Open Cup final match. The atmosphere is going to be electric. The team is going to be hyped. The feeling in that stadium is going to be unbelievable. And when we win the whole damn thing, it's going to be worth it. Ow. Also, I want to throw out there that, oh man, that really hurt. I banged.
You almost broke it.
No, this moves like that.
Okay. I know.
I went and picked this up today. Since the Dynamo won last night, I was able to go pick up a replica second kit, the black kit, which, by the way, I hated it initially. I love it now. I'll admit it. And Cisco's going to harp on me about that, too, by the way. I picked it up, and it was 20% off, because when the Dynamo win a home match, it is 20% off at Soccer for All. So if you don't have a kit, and this is replica, so it was cheaper than the authentic, and they have the authentics on sale too. The current home and away jerseys are both on sale for today. Shut up, Cisco.
I told you
he's
too.
Always, I know he's always right. Edson, you're usually right. Mostly, sometimes. Okay, yeah, you're right. Maybe not all that often. But it's just, and I'm proud to wear this right now. I really am, and to get it for 20% off, it was, and to do it on the heels of that, right? I'm supporting the team with this. And, it's not a lot of my money as a result of the discount, but it's a chance for me to go enjoy the hell out of it a little bit more. I did the same thing with the Astro stuff. You remember how much I came home with? Because it was such a big moment. If the Dynamo win, you better believe I'm going to go find championship gear somewhere, because they're going to sell it. I'm going to find it. I'm going to buy some. Anyways.
Jacob?
Yeah, he was speaking about going to his first game at Robertson. Luckily, I was able to go to a game at Robertson, and it was one of my first times. But I had been a fan of it since, 07, 06. Yes, because I played FIFA that young on my old Xbox, and it was hilarious.
How old were you in 2006? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that for me?
I was 6 and 7, and I was playing FIFA. Yes.
I feel old. Damn. Okay, anyways, continue.
And so, yeah, it was 08 or 9 that I got to go to my first game, and I got to see, we're talking Rosario, Ching, Davis on his rookie year, basically.
Stu.
Bobby Boswell. I mean, the list goes on. And, of course, a good Tally Hall, too.
Brian Mullen.
Mm-hmm.
We had Adrian Serio that year. Man, I could remember. Craig Weibel. Oh, dude, Weibel was the best. Wade Barrett. We had Ryan Cochran, Eddie Robinson back then. The list goes. I mean, I can name so many
legends.
Exactly legends. And by the way, I tweeted this out to Philippe because he posted something. He posted just an emoji thing or whatever about last night, and I tweeted him. I said, "So how does it feel to solidify yourself as a Houston Dynamo legend
in such a short
amount of time?" And he favorited that tweet. I just want that to be known that he favorited that he is now a Dynamo legend. I just want that to be known because he is absolutely without a doubt a Dynamo legend. Forget the 2 goals. That PK last night, he is a Dynamo freaking legend. Those 2 goals helped, or the 3 goals helped. That's 3 goals. That's right.
Yeah.
2 goals in one game, 1 goal in another.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And so, it's all good. And so, yeah, so I'd really become a Dynamo fan from that point on. And then obviously in that point, I never got to see Houston really win a final, basically, or something that really meant something. Yes, they won back when they were on the East Coast or Eastern Conference. They won those titles. That was cool, but I had never truly seen them win the MLS Cup because still in 06 and 07, I still really didn't watch the MLS as much as I did moving on with those years. And so for them finally to be back in a final it's something special, especially given that I have followed them tooth and nail now.
Yeah, no. I mean, it just, there's something about a championship that just, and to be one match away, and it's a home match, thank God. To be one match away, to know that it's at home, to have that opportunity at a championship, regardless of how I've ripped on this championship before, it's still a championship. And to know what a championship does for a team, to know what it will do for this fan base, I mean, it's going to be emotional as hell. I mean, no matter what happens in that match, but it's going to be emotional as hell. And there are going to be people there that aren't currently fans. And if the Dynamo pull this off, we're going to see a good surge in the fan base. I'm not going to say great, but a good surge. A couple thousand. It's a big jump, though. It's a necessary jump. And so I like that we're taking U.S. Open Cup seriously. And I think it has nothing to do with our standing in the league. And I think it has everything to do with the fact that we finally have that depth to take it seriously. We finally have those players we can bring in from RGV, Memo, Kevin Garcia, etc., that have the experience in meaningful games to actually play meaningful minutes for us and not just RGV. So I think it's just really, 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 it's amazing. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I didn't start getting into MLS until 05. Mm-hmm. And that was because in 05 that summer...
Was Tigres that bad that year?
No. But basically was because I went to California to visit my uncle and my aunt's living over there in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And my uncle invited me over to go see the Carson Galaxy. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so... Before that, I was like a huge hater. Like I was all about Liga MX and a huge hater of like MLS. Yeah. And I went to that game, and that got me like pumped up like for MLS. And then that during that time, that's when the Houston Dynamo came over here.
Yeah, came over here.
And I had all my family here in Houston, and so
Pasadena for life.
And yeah. And so they were the ones that kind of got me like more up to date. Back in that time, it was a lot harder for us to like, especially for me, since I was, you're talking about, I was like, we were like 14, 15 around there. So I couldn't make it.
And it wasn't like you could find streams online actively. No, they weren't showing matches on TV.
And pretty much it was like. The way I found out, it was basically through the Univision passing. Oh, the Dynamo won the championship.
Yeah.
The MLS
the
championship.
News blip or whatever.
Yeah. But through that, I stuck with the Dynamo before that championship. Just gone. I was like, asked my cousin, hey, what's going on with the Dynamo? Mm-hmm. And like he would explain to me, and then it got to the point where I became a bigger fan of the Dynamo than even them. And so it just for me, there was something about the Dynamo. And then when I came to my first match, when I drove up here to my first match here with the Houston Dynamo, I was completely hooked. Yeah. Yes, we may not have the best of attendances.
Yeah.
But there's just something about
soccer. It's not just this team, but it's soccer.
But I mean, here's the thing though. If it's about soccer, then I would have been an LA Galaxy fan.
That's fair.
Because my first team, the first experience.
I'm still surprised you're not. You're a Patriots fan. Sorry, the door was open. I had to take the shot.
The point is, it's just there's just something, and I think a lot of the players that we have right now are understanding this. There's something about this Dynamo team.
There's something about Dynamo as a franchise, as a club. I mean, that's what you were just saying. There really is.
We're not the best at everything. We're not the best in front offices, but there's just something about the city. There's just something about the families that just makes it different from the rest.
Yeah.
To the point that AJ De La Garza, being so many years, winning so many championships with LA Galaxy, as soon as he came in, he felt the love.
He's absolutely Houston.
Same with Chris Seitz.
Yeah.
Having come from Frisco.
Yep. Cisco says Texans Pats week 1. Deshaun Watson gonna run all over that ass. Just saying it now. Anyways, man, we've been going. Oh, technically, 30 minutes on the actual stream, but like an hour now since we tried to start an early.
We are at this working stream, 50 minutes.
Oh, all right, let's go 10 more minutes and call it an hour because I don't know if I can go a lot longer than that.
Yeah, no, that's
we're already
fine.
at 10:30. Good Lord. Hey, credit to all of you that are currently in the stream right now watching because that's incredible. We just went 2 hours with Down in the Valley, or you guys went 2 hours in Down in the Valley. We went actually like 2.5 really by the time everything was said and done. 2.5 hours from Down in the Valley. Jacob, credit to you, sir, for sticking around this time for this extra hour and a half or so. It's 10:30. I mean, what we're trying to get across, and I hope this is getting across, and this is coming through the sound because there's no video this week or right now. But I hope it's coming through. And, the guys in the chat have been talking about their experiences. I think right now what we need to be doing during this next month and a half while we wait for this game to get here, we need to take every opportunity to talk about our experience. What got us hooked to this team? What got us hooked to this game? What drew us in? Why are we fans? I want as many people on Twitter that are followers of this thing, I want them to tell me their story. I want them to tell me, because what happens is when you do that, I'm going to share that out. I've got followers that are not soccer fans that are going to see that, and they're going to read it. You have a chance to turn someone into a Dynamo fan by just telling your story. So do it.
I think each of us, Jacob, you too as well.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it.
If we can record a video.
Oh yes.
Record a video.
Yeah.
Of explaining how you got into soccer.
Yeah. Show your passion.
Yeah, and then
wear your heart on your sleeve. Wear your passion on your sleeve.
Es más. If anybody in the that's
in the YouTube chat or listening later,
if you guys, even if it's holding your phone like
for the next month, and so that's going to mean from today until September
26th.
No, before then we're going to cut it off at least a week before. I've got
so the 19th.
Yeah, the 19th. There's something I want to do with that.
Mm-hmm. So just record yourself. Just record yourself on the phone. Explaining everything.
Just like if you were going to Periscope or Snapchat or Facebook video, whatever. Just record a quick, and it can be just a quick 30-second or a minute,
to our
whatever.
Email.
Yeah.
Send it to our email, which is, mine is Edson at downinthergv.com. Yours is
Sean
at lextalk.soccer, no? Or you want to
don't use them. Use my Gmail account. Use your Gmail account for now, too. The email thing is wonky right now, and I haven't figured out why. Mm-hmm. So my email address, and I'm giving this out on the air. Holy crap. I'm going to end up with all this. People are going to sign me up for this.
Cisco says it was noted that in that KQ segment, they talked about how much passion they love the passion from the fans. Because even Josh's tweet was...
Josh's tweet, by the way, that was so incredible that Josh got his tweet on the air, even though he wasn't planning on it. That's not why he did that. Okay, so look, if you're listening, you probably have you've got the Gen Orange Twitter handle, at Gen Orange Radio. You have the Down in the Valley Facebook page, facebook.com/Down in the Valley. I don't care. Find a way to get it to us. We don't even need to give our emails out. At this point, they got social media. They can share it with us. Or they can ask us for our emails separately, since they're my personal email, and I don't want to give that out on the air. But send it to us. Look, seriously, we've got something we want to do with it, but beyond that, really, honestly, show your passion. Let's get some extra fans, and let's get some extra fans to this match.
And if you're going to tweet it out, if you're going to tweet out your video, be sure to include the hashtag #WeAreGenOrange.
Yes, and we will send that at the end of this episode as well. And Jacob, that's a challenge to you to do the same. And I want you to, like I said, I want you to tell your story. You don't have to be a great speaker, but just tell your story. Tell what drew you into the Dynamo. Why? What was your first match? When did you really become hooked? Because I guarantee you, those stories, those are the types of stories that are going to make new fans. Those are the types of stories that you're going to find people connect with. And KHU, like Cisco said, they mentioned how much they love the passion of the fans. But I think it goes beyond that. We were talking about it earlier. It's that connection. When you start sharing those stories, you're making yourself vulnerable. Don't get me wrong about that. But at the same time, you're letting yourself be a person. You're letting yourself be human, be approachable. You're saying, this is why I love this team. Come love it with me. You're inviting them in. And I think it's just I think it's going to have an incredible impact.
And you never know. These videos might be seen by some of the players.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if they are. It would absolutely not surprise me if it is. If it ends up being that way. So anyway, send us the videos. Don't feel self-conscious. Just do it. And trust me, once you're done, you'll be like, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. So do it. Use a laptop webcam. Use a desktop webcam. Use your phone. Have somebody else record it. I don't care what the quality is. I'm not looking for super high quality or anything.
4K.
Yeah,
4K 60 frames per second.
Please don't send me 4K videos. I will reject you outright. No, I'm just kidding. My email will just be like, nope, file attachment is too big.
Yeah.
If you want, upload it to YouTube and share it with us that way. That's fine as well. What I'm thinking about doing, depending on how many of these we get, More than 10 is what I'm expecting, hopefully, Lord willing, since we're leaving it open for a month. If we get 10 or more, we're going to take them and we're going to compile them into a video. And I'm going to do something that I normally wouldn't do. I'm going to see if we can actually get those to the players to watch. Because I think it's important for the players to hear that. And I think the players will absolutely want to hear those stories. Because it's going to fire them up for that match even more. Mm-hmm. And I want them to come out and be fired the hell up. I got goosebumps right now. Like, legit, man. Like, this is incredible stuff. It really is. It's awesome. And are you okay over there?
Yeah.
So anyway, so yeah, we're gonna make the effort on it. I hope you guys will make the effort on our behalf.
And be sure to tell anybody that you know that is
absolutely.
a Dynamo
That's
fan.
a fan. It doesn't matter how they became a fan. It doesn't matter if they don't watch the show or listen to the show. If they don't listen to Down in the Valley, I don't care. It's not about that. It's not about us. But we want them to know there are fans that are connected with the team at this level. We are passionate. We are behind you, and we support you. And they need to know that. And I think that'll come through in this, and I think it'll be amazing. You okay over there, Jacob?
Yeah, I am. I mean,
just making sure.
Yeah.
I think it's time to call it a night. We're getting into rambling territory now. So we were there earlier, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, but I think this is an extremely high note for the show, and this is the beginning of this hype moment.
And stay tuned. There's more hype moments to come.
Yeah.
We're working on some more stuff, by the way. Just Jacob's not even aware of this. We're working on more stuff. It's going to be incredible if it works out.
Oh, hope so. So, what can you tell us about next week?
What can I tell you about next week? That's a darn good question. What are we going to talk about next week? Send us what you want us to talk about. I say that every week. We'll talk Dynamo like we always do. We'll talk Dash. I'm going to make sure we have some Dash moments. We have Victor coming on this week. And we have Jay Adelberg coming on this week. They're going to talk. Victor's going to come on, and we're just going to talk to Victor about everything and anything. We're going to try to get some info from him if he has anything to share. And there's something else that I have confirmed that I need to share with you, by the way, off air. We also, Jay Adelberg's going to come on. He's going to talk about some of the same stuff that Julio talked about, but he's also got a couple other things that he wants to share with our listeners, with our viewers. So we're going to get him. We've got him coming on, and I want you guys to know that the reason why we're able to get these guests now is because you guys and your support consistently week after week. People are tuning in that don't normally tune in, that haven't tuned in before. You've helped build this program. Like, it's not just about Edson and myself, and really it's not about us at all. We're just talking. It's because you guys tune in and listen. You guys are committed. You guys are in chat talking. Your engagement level is what drives eyeballs that we normally wouldn't get. It's what allows us to get recognized by other people. It's what allows us to be able to reach out to people to create special things and special moments. It's what creates our network. So thank you guys so much. And Cisco, I need to talk to you about that, by the way. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I know it was short notice. I appreciate everybody that tuned in.
Yes.
We thank you so much. While you're in the chat, while you're watching the stream, even if it's later, do us a favor, just like always. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. 3 things: like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to make a PSA about this at some point. And then also follow at Gen Orange Radio. That's our Twitter account, and we are active on our Twitter account. Follow at Down in the RGV. That's the Down in the Valley RGV Twitter handle. Follow them on Facebook. Share and like and subscribe their Facebook content.
Instagram.
Instagram is down in the
RGV.
Down in the RGV as well. In there, make sure you check out downintheRGV.com. They're putting some great content out. Some really good articles, by the way. You can find a whole bunch of good info on there. And the more we support RGV, it's important too, because the more that we support that stuff, the more we support you guys, it helps grow what you guys are doing, and it puts you guys at the forefront of coverage, and it gives you guys opportunities. It creates opportunities for you guys that you normally wouldn't get, and that's incredible because it gives you access to information and resources and assets and et cetera that let's be real, we're getting access to graphic stuff that we, pictures that we would have never got access to if we weren't doing this. So thank you guys for following us for that. Why isn't there a like, share, and subscribe banner already? That's a very good question. We'll have to address that after the show. Not tonight, though. That'll be a tomorrow thing. But seriously, guys, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, and final thing, make sure you, in your tweets, make sure if you see us tweeting stuff, you try to retweet it whenever possible and share those tweets.
And if you guys can help us out by adding that hashtag WeAreGenOrange, if we can start a movement like
yes,
that.
please do that too. Yeah, and we're going to do something with that later as well. I got to talk to you about that as well. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. There's so many things going on right now that I can't even begin to share. And Edson will attest to this. Every day it seems like something new comes up that we just have no anticipation of even remotely doing. And so we're trying to keep things moving forward. Again, thank you guys, because it does come down to you guys being so supportive. And again, guys, remember, we are Gen Orange and Somos Toros, Forever Orange,
and
dash TF on. With that, good night, guys. Thank you again, Jacob, for tuning in. Thank you for calling in, Jacob. We appreciate it, man.
Of course, anytime.
Have a good night, man.
Sleep well, sir. I'm sure you could use some.
Yes.
Like us as well.
Have a good night, guys.
Oh, it was Jeff Bonilla.